All right, welcome back. So this is going to be part 2 on the truck camper teardown, and I've moved on quite a bit from the last video in part 1. So let's kind of take a peek at where I'm at right now. All right, so in the last video I think I only had so much siding removed, so I got the rest of the siding removed. Got this window out. Removed all the siding up to here, popped that window out, and then started cutting out the inner wall. So the inner wall, and from here forward up about 8 inches, was all soft and deteriorated, as you can see. There's not a lot of wall in here. I mean, there is, but this whole back corner with the bathroom and the pantry and the cupboards, etc. I mean, that's, and then the sink. It's just that small piece of paneling around that window above the kitchen. So this is like a wallpaper covered Luan. And I don't know, I considered maybe just painting everything white, but I don't know. It's got a little bit of a texture to it, and I feel like, guaranteed if I paint it, it'll start ripping and tearing off. So the plan is, down the road when I start repairing it, is I'm going to use a product called Polywall. Comes in 4x8 sheets, 1/8 inch thick, so same dimension as the Luan. But it's like a poly plastic, and I think I saw you can get it smooth or textured finish. That way it'll be plastic, so it's waterproof, it's already white, so I'm not going to paint it, and it's plastic, so it'll be nice and easy to wipe off and clean as well. So, and then this was the top of the dinette that I knew was soft, so I started pulling all that stuff away, and then obviously the stuff underneath was bad too. So same type of deal. All of the outside paneling has like a paper wrap on it, which I don't really consider that very waterproof. So I think I'm going to start using that Polywall for all of my external paneling as well, and that way it'll be white, look cleaner, look newer, waterproof, and it's gonna work out well. While I'm on this side, there's this plastic compartment on the side here. From what I can tell, I'm willing to bet it's for like fishing poles or something long. So that's kind of a neat option, but I don't think I'm going to need that because it is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of warped, and I don't know if it's cracked in any spots, but I'm going to go ahead and remove that out of here and see where I'm at. And I don't know. I'm not sure if we'll keep that or not. All right, so moving on. Got quite a bit more torn out, and I'm sure you're probably thinking, wow, what a mess. This looks just like too much to do. Honestly, once you start understanding how this thing is made, there's really nothing to it. Basically, it's all 1x2 framing, and then you got inside Luan 1/8 inch paneling, yellow insulation in between, and then you got the outside foam cardboard. That's really all it is. And then you got the siding stapled on top. All of that combined is what I guess makes this thing strong. So it's not that big of a deal. It's just a big mess right now. But things are layered on top of each other as well. Like this wall sits on top of this horizontal wall, which has the paneling on top, so it's essentially sandwiched. So you just got to kind of understand the layering and the order of how everything's laid out. Again, I'm not going to get into any of the structure yet. I just want to expose the skeleton, I guess, and then kind of go from there. So I punched out the rest of this nasty stuff here, right here. This is pretty solid, but I mean, there's no point in leaving just this little bit. This black hose was the condensation drain for the three-way fridge, which somebody had it blocked. There was it was basically blocked, plugged. Peeling back this metal sheeting kind of straightens up the corner where the corner jack goes on. Inside there's a 90 bracket with threaded holes. There's basically 2 machine screws per side, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 8 wood screws per side as well. So quite a bit of stuff. All right, let's move around here. All right, moving inside, I went ahead and tore out the rest of the floor linoleum. That's obviously not going to stay anyway. And then talking about layering and how things are built, there was a cabinet here and then part of the bench right here. So those came out, exposing a lot more floor. The back for sure is going to help me out when I go to patch in this I think 3/4 inch plywood floor. So I'll be able to kind of come back more than what I wanted to, which is good, and then make sure I can structurally get all this stuff figured out. Looks like right down the center there was a 2x2, and then you got 1x2, 1x2, and then you got thick foam in the floor. Then moving over here to the water tank cabinet, I was happy to see that I already took them out. There were screws all along the edge, so this panel can actually come out. And then I had to remove the electrical box, and then there's 2 or 3 screws holding this front panel to that wall, and then this should come out so I can double check the tank. And then I need to route a new drain hose anyway, which essentially runs underneath the floor right out to here. So that needs to be replaced. So getting access to this area is key to be able to fish that new hose down to the floor. And then I want to be able to clean the flash isn't coming on. Just want to be able to clean and vacuum up any loose debris. So, all right, I think earlier in this video I mentioned I was going to put the jacks on real quick to support the camper, to be able to move the table cart forward so that the whole rear of the floor would be, accessible to work on. So I went ahead and did that, and then removed the rear left jack, and then just started pulling off the siding over here. This is exactly what I wanted to see as far as how this was constructed, because I knew that none of this stuff was factory camper wood. So, because none of this wood in here is dimensionally correct for what the camper would use. This is like I don't know, 2x6, 2x4s, and then there's some weird cuts to kind of match. So exposing this side, I knew I would see how it's supposed to be done. So essentially the corner has a main 2x2 all the way up, and then you got a 2x2 next to it, and there's a 2x2 all the way across, which obviously this section right here is rotted, but from here over, again, it's not camper dimensional wood. So this gives me a way better idea. So what I'm basically going to do is I'll put a brand new full piece of 2x2 all the way across the bottom, and then I will go 2x2 all the way up the corner, probably to this section here, because the wood looks fine from here up. So I'll just split it here. This way I can attach the new section here, here, etc. And then it will all be tied in with, I'll use some construction adhesive in sections like that. But this way there's a lot of overlap to secure and screw and glue. And that way the whole outer frame will be brand new 2x2. And then I'll go ahead and reconstruct this out of the 1x2s, etc. to match how it should have been framed correctly, since it's going to be all rebuilt. So this little hole here, I think I mentioned it in the first video or maybe the beginning of this one. There's like a plastic tray that was screwed to the outside of the camper, and I'm sure that was like for, I don't know, fishing poles, etc. I'm not going to use it for anything like that, and that plastic piece was pretty warped anyway. So as I'm rebuilding this, I'm going to go ahead and put a solid piece here, and this will act like it was never there. As far as the floor goes, this is, I don't think it's 1/2 inch. I think I called it 3/4 inch, but now I'm looking at it, looks like 1/2 inch plywood. So the plan here is there is a seam right here. So I think I'm going to try to come back maybe 2 to 3 inches, or maybe, actually I don't have to go back that far. I'll just, whatever the section is underneath this wall, because there's a structural 2x2 frame. Let's see if I can see a better side over here. Right here, yeah. So I think this will be a brand new 2x2 as well. And then I'll just plan on framing or sectioning this floor at the end of the cabinet straight across. And then this will be one whole brand new piece of plywood. And that way, that's all repaired, patched, fixed. And then I'm hoping that far back I'll find where the 2x2 and 1x2s are solid back here. And that way I'll be able to tie new ones of those out. So, I mean, really the game plan here is once this rear section bottom corner is structurally fixed, then I will start on the other parts. But this right here, I mean, this corner's got to be fairly weak at this point, because there's nothing supporting it vertically. I guess the only part that's really structurally supporting it is probably off this section up, and then where the cabinets start. So, also on this bottom corner, there was like a 90-degree flashing. This thing right here, that was along the whole bottom. So I'll clean that up and I'll reinstall that as well. And I think the plan is all of my new wood I'm putting in, I think I'm going to treat it with some type of primer, or there's that company called Kills. I don't know, just something to kind of seal the wood before I go ahead and, put the siding and all that back on. So that's kind of a plan. I mean, it would make sense that the camper, all the exterior corners would be coated in something, but obviously it's not. And then as I'm looking at it, one more thing I got to do before I can do this floor section is I do have to route that new drain hose first. And I did, let me get up there in a sec. All right, of course I don't have a light here right now, but I did go ahead and take, there was a front cabinet part on this that I was able to section out. This is the water tank, so I got that pretty much exposed. There's a couple trim boards that are basically holding that in. There's obviously a water fill hose. There's a hose in the bottom there for where the water pump sucks the water out. And then somewhere over here on the side of the bottom is that drain hose. So I will get this pulled out here probably the next video, but that's the plan. That way, there's a whole bunch of debris I got to vacuum out anyway. Every nook and cranny of this camper I'm going to be cleaning and vacuuming 100%. So, all right, so this is going to wrap up the second video of this Lance truck camper teardown. I realize the first two videos are kind of probably boring once you watch it, but I just really want to get this thing taken apart. I want everything exposed, and I want to be able to have everything open so that I can have a way better game plan. I don't want to have any surprises once I start something. So I'd rather go a little bit farther out than I need to, and then that way I'll be able to tie everything back together that much better anyway. So, all right, stay tuned for the next video, and we'll move on from there. If you're not already, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and we'll see you on the next one.